Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
J hits on the beat.
All right. All right. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. So let me go ahead and respond to Kelly Ray's video she did yesterday. Um, I find that speech. Now I'm gonna read his speech though. By the way, um, I believe there is a fascist takeover of the United States. I believe in the Western world um, that the extreme right wing is trying their best to take over and erode certain freedoms that was passed the last 50 years. We got people on here trying to do the handmaiden tale, the trying to forced the handmaiden tale regime in Western society because of frustration between men and women, or why the heterosexual male is not gaining ahead compared to his female counterpart. That's part of the reason why, though, there is a low birth rate, part of the reason why there is an educational gap. Professor Scott Galloway has been telling y'all this for years and nobody has listened. And I'm gonna do a video. Um, I got two videos coming today, later this afternoon, that will be upload. That's scheduled to in the next few hours or so. So let me go ahead and read this speech here. So Kelly Ray, you and your husband is welcome to respond. Um, Morik Delp, you're welcome to respond to his video. So let me read a part. Let me read um this. So of 2024. I would like to start off by congratulating all of you for successfully making it to this achievement today. I'm sure your high school graduation was not as what you had imagined, and most likely neither was your first couple of years of college. By making it to this moment, though, Drew, all the adversity grown your way from COVID, I hope you learned the important issues that suffering in this life is only temporary. As a group, you have witnessed firsthand how bad leaders who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society. It is through this lens that I want to take stock of how we got to where we are and where we want to go as citizens and, yes, as Catholics. One last thing before I begin, I want to thank President Minas, I hope I pronounced the name right, and the board for the invitation to speak. When President Minas reached out a couple of months ago, I had originally said no. You see, last year I gave a commencement address at my alma mater, Georgia Tech. I felt that one graduation speech was more than enough, especially for someone who isn't a professional speaker. Of course, President Menace used his gift of persuasion. It spoke to the many challenges we all faced throughout the COVID fiasco, and how you missed out on many milestones that the rest of us older people have taken for granted. While the virus may have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies, poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, well as a growing support for legitimate, degenerate cultural values in media, all still form the perversive of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who's publicly and pronounces his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional to make up delusional. Excuse me. At the same time, it's delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I am sure that many people that appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. He's not alone. From the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing the dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. And this is something important, important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it. These are sort of things we are told in polite society not to bring up. You know, the difficult, unpleasant things. But if we're going to be men and women for this time in history, we need to stop being pretending to be the church of nice is a winning proposition. We must always speak and act in clarity, but never mistake charity, um, you know, charity for cowardness. It is safe to say that over the past few years, I gained quite a reputation for speaking my mind. I never envisioned myself nor want to have this sort of a platform, but God has given it to me. So I have no other choice but to embrace it and preach more hard truths about accepting your own lane and staying in it. As members of the church founded by Jesus Christ, it is our duty and ultimately the privilege to be articulating and unapologetically Catholic. Don't be mistaken, even within the church, people in polite Catholic circles will try to persuade you to remain silent. There was even a award-winning film called Silence, made by a fellow Catholic, wherein one of the main characters, a Jewish priest, abandoned the church and as an apostate, when he died, is seen grasping a crucifix, quiet, unknown to anyone but God. As a friend of the Benedictine College, His Excellency Bishop Robert Barron said in a review of the film, it is exactly what the cultural elite want to see in Christianity: private, hidden away, and harmless. Our Catholic faith is always countercultural. Our Lord, among the countless followers who were put to death for their adherence to her teaching. That's a lie. What you just said, I guess he forgot about. You know what? Let me. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves, whatever we go against the tyranny of diversity, equality, and inclusion. See, what is see we got see here is see it's all sounding all nice until you start saying the tyranny of diversity, equality, and inclusion. When you start saying that, what does that tell you? See, I like to break it down. I like to break certain words down. So the tyranny of diversity, equality, and inclusion. We fear speaking truth because now, unfortunately, the truth is in the minority. Congress just passed a bill where stating something basic as a biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail. Wait a minute, hold on. That's your people. That's conservatives had done that. And if we want to sit there who talk about who killed Jesus, everybody had killed Jesus. The Romans, the Jews, and the people who were surrounding that era. All their actions led to his death. It wasn't just the Jews, the the uh, the Pharisees. Romans had a hand in it too. The disciples had a hand in it too. And I ain't just talking about Judas. We're talking about Peter. We're gonna talk about, well, you know what? Yeah, you know what? See, see, let's sit there and lie, But anyway, but make no mistake. Let me continue on with this. But make no mistake, before we even attempt to fix any of the issues plaguing society, we must first get our own house in order. And it starts with our leaders. The bishops and priests appointed by God as our spiritual fathers must be rightly ordered. There is not enough time today for me to list all the stories of priests and bishops misleading their flocks. But none of us can blame the ignorance anymore and blindly profane that's what Father said. And sadly, many priests are looking to for leadership are the ones who wait a minute, hold on. Prior towards their hobbies or even photos with their dogs, matching outfits uh, for the parish directory. It's easy for us laymen and women to think that in order for us to be holy, that we must be active in our parish and try to fix it. Yes, we absolutely should believe in involving, reporting, supporting our parishes, but we cannot be the source of our parishes priests to lean on to help with their problems. Just as we look to the relationship between a father and his son, so too should look at the relationship between a priest and his people. It should not be appropriate for me to always look into my son for help when it is my job as his father to lead him. Saint Joseph Maria uh Sylvanesca, I hope I announced the name right, says that the priests are ordained to serve and should not yield to temptation to intimidate lay people, but to be priests drew and drew. Tragically, so many priests revolve much of their happiness from adultation they receive from their parishioners, and in searching for this, let their guard down become overly familiar. This undue familiarity will prove to be problematic every time because of my teammate's girlfriend said familiarity breeds contempt. But St. Joseph Maria continues that some want to see the priest as just another man. That is not so. They want to find in the priest that the virtues proper to every Christian and indeed every honorable man. Understanding, justice, life of work, priestly work, and in this instance, good manners. But it is not prudent to as elating for us to consume ourselves in becoming amateur theologians so that we can decipher this or theological thinking or teaching, unless of course you are a theology major. We must intentionally with our focus on our state in life and our own vocation. And for the most part of and for the most of us, that's as married men and women. Still, we have many great resources at our fingertips that does not take long to find traditional and timeless teachings that had not ambiguously rewarded for our times. Plus, there are many good and holy priests and it's up for us to seek them out. The chaos of the world is unfortunately reflected in the chaos of our parishes and sadly in our con- oh my God, can't even pronounce the word conskigos too. As we saw during the pandemic, too many bishops were not leaders at all. They were motivated by fear and fear of being sued, fear of being removed, fear of being disliked. They shown by their actions, intentional or unintentional, that the sacraments does don't actually matter. But because of this, countless people died alone and without access to sacraments, and it's a tragedy we must never forget. Um, you know what? I gotta break this part. I gotta break this part because um, there's a thou shalt not bear false witness right there. But anyway, let's continue. As Catholics, we can look to many examples of heroic shepherds who gave their lives for the people and ultimately the church. We cannot buy into the lie that the things that we experienced during COVID were appropriate. Over the centuries, there have been great wars, great famines, and yes, great diseases that came um, with the level of lethality and danger. But in each examples, church leaders lean to their vocation to ensure that their people receive their sacrament. See, I as a history major, I guess he forgot about the Black Plague. The only society in Europe that that was largely untouched was Ireland. Do you know why Ireland was untouched? Because it was an island. Despite the fact that Britain did got affected by it, even though the British Isles was didn't have that much problems because it was an island. But the reason why there was a lot of deaths between the priests, the Roman Catholic Church during that time period, because the priest was giving affected people disease, communion, and it was unsanitary. See, can we just tell the truth here? The truth matters, and you just bear false witness by saying that. But let me break it down. So great saints like Saint Damien of Mordecai, who knew the dangers of his ministry, stayed for 11 years as a spiritual leader to the leper colonies of Hawaii. His heroism is looked at today as something that's set apart and unique, when ideally it should not be unique at all. But as for a father who loves his child, a shepherd should love his spiritual children too. That goes more for our bishops, these men who are present today, disciples, apostles. Our bishops once had adoring crowds of people kissing their rings and taking in their every word. Now regulate themselves to a position of inconsequential existence. And now, when a bishop of a diocese or a bishop's conference, no, not conference, conference as a whole puts out an important document on this matter or that, no one, nobody, even takes a moment to read it, let alone follow it. Today, our shepherds are far more concerned with keeping the doors open to the chancery than they are with saying the difficult stuff out loud. It seems that the only time you hear it from our bishops is the time for an annual appeal, whereas we need our bishops to be vocal about the teachings of the church, setting aside their own personal comfort and embracing their cross. Our bishops are not politicians, but shepherds. Instead of fitting in the world by not going along to get along, but to need to stay in their lane and lead. Now, I said this not from a place of anger, as we get the leaders we deserve, but this does take me to reflect on staying in my lane and focusing on my vocation and how I can be a better father and husband and live in the world, but not be of it. Focusing on my vocation while praying and fasting for these men will do more for the church than me complaining about her leaders. Because there seems to be much more confusion coming from our leaders, there needs to be a concrete example for people to look to in places like the Benedictine, a little Kansas uh, college built high on the bluff above the Missouri River, are showing the world how an ordered Christ-centered existence is a recipe for success. You need to look to no further than the examples all around this campus, where over the past 20 years enrolled as doubled construction, revitalization are a constant part of life, and people, the students, the faculty, and the staff are thriving. But this didn't happen by chance, and the riveted movement to embrace traditional Catholic values, the Benedictine has gone from just another liberal art school with nothing to set apart to a thriving beacon of light and a reminder to us that all that we when you embrace tradition, success, worldly and spiritually will follow. Now I'm certain the reporters at the AP could not be imagined at their attempt to rebuke embarrass places and people like here in Benedict who couldn't be met, would be met with anger, but instead met with excellence and pride. Not these deadly sin sort of pride, but the entire month dedicated to it. But the true God centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify it. Reading the article is not share all of the world, and we see that in the complete surrender of self and turning forward Christ, you will find happiness. Right here in the little town in Kansas, we will find many inspiring lay people using their talents. So President Mimas, Dr. Swerve, and Zimler are a few great examples here on the bright campus that will keep you light of Christ uh, burning bright for generations to come. Being locked in with your vocation and staying in your lane is the surest way to find happiness and peace in this life. It is essential that you focus on your own state in life, whether to be as a lay person, as a priest, or religious. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, you are sitting at the edge of the rest of your lives. Each of you has potential to leave a legacy that transcends yourselves and this era of human existence in the small ways by living out your vocation. You will you will assure that God's church continues and the world is enlightened by your example. Now, here is the controversial part that I'm about to read here. This is going to sound very Manosphereian, and with the shame, blame, and explain. Now, for the ladies present, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you achieve at this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you women who have the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you sitting here about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you're going to get in your career? Some of you may go to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess a majority of you are most excited about your marriage and children you will bring into this world. I will tell you that my wife is Isabella will be the first to say that her life truly stayed that when she began living her vocation as a wife and mother. Now I'm on the stage today, able to be the man that I am because I have a wife that who leans into her vocation. Now um, I'm a blood beyond blessed with many talents God has given me, and it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in high school could convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. Now, you see that right there? Now we can take this right here, these two paragraphs, go back up at the start of the speech, at the first two paragraphs, where he says that equality and hold on, let me see, let me see where I'm at. Okay, where that does link right back way up here where it says the tyranny of diversity, equality, and inclusion. That's why people, Kelly Ray, is up in arms. See, I listen contently. If you take these two paragraphs and go right back up and look that right on back up to where it says the tyranny of diversity, the tyranny of equality and inclusion. That's why people saying it's fascist. That's why I'm looking at it as a manosphere red pill philosophy. That's why I'm saying it. So yeah, that's where that's where why people are mad. You know, and I'm gonna say this too. Oh, no, hold on. That's what the part. You know what? I ain't gonna read the entire speech. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna read the entire speech on that. But that's why people are pissed off about it. See, I, I am a great historian, right? Well, I like to think that I am, but I'm not. I'm not really. See, I see. I see parallels, right? I see parallels. What's going on? I remember reading about the Spanish Civil War. If you look at Spain since 1890 to World War II, to the start of World War II, Spain has had a decline. And then you got people trying to force their religion or force their way of life onto others. And that's why you had the Spanish Civil War. And I see the parallels to in 2024. That's why people are up in arms. People want to tell other people how to live their life. That's why there is I know that you are a Trump supporter and all that, but have you ever looked at Project 2025? Have you ever looked into Project what's the other project, Project 47? Because that does link to the Trump uh, those who back the former president. So that's all I gotta say on it. I mean, yeah. Carton Banks, as if though as if though I don't know, as if though. See, you think though I don't know that. Of course they are. Of course they are. Of course they are. So, but the problem is, Carton Bank, is that fascism is real. So anyway, that's all I gotta say on it. So anyway, I got a video coming. I might do a live stream tonight. Not sure. Um. Anyway, y'all be easy, and I'm out of here. Peace.